Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. I did a little bit of mismatching and looking around, and I think I can record some game stuff. So recently, I have been playing a little bit of this game here. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really fun. I've played 2 games in it so far. One game I got to turn 200. The next game I got to 1,200 and something, and then I just killed myself because I was like, all right. I think I got the general gist of it now. Alright. So we're gonna hit new game. So yeah, they've got these 2 guys you start with. I played with him first, and that was pretty simple. I had the Nightcrawler, so I had more damage and range. I'd more damage at night, and then I unlocked in my one game. I got a bonus to my stealth, and then I could unlock the Eyes of a Beast. Your vision during the night turns and is as good as during day turns. So the game has night turns and day turns where your vision becomes really crappy. I unlocked this guy. Sun's blessing, guided by the power of the sun's return, your villagers gain XP faster. Righteous conditions, all your villagers get bonus speech and attractionness, and I unlocked you. Power of hope, people gather and research faster, and power of love, all your villagers gain more health and intelligence and will. So that's really good. And then I've got Mokosh. So I had my people gather faster. I unlocked bonus gathering, and I get extra food on my thing. If I level her up, I'll start with a pasture, which is really strong. Okay, so I think we're just gonna stick with her though, because she's giving us the most bonuses, and yeah, I like to get that. Yeah, we'll stick with her because gathering his stuff was really useful. We're gonna stick with getting warriors in our village. Oh, I can customize this. Road size, we'll keep it small. Road progression. Shows how fast. Difficulty. Oh, keep that pretty normal. Okay, yeah, there's a thing in here where if you play on a if this is above 210. But yeah, if you play on a 210, it's pretty rough. If you pick godlike, realism. What is this? What does realism do? I don't know. I got no idea though, but for now we're just gonna stick with our normal world size. We'll keep it at that size. Keep our world progression pretty normal and all that, so we confirm. And then we will come in normal play. Alright. So the Mother Earth, life and birth, nature, your dominion, you were once the supreme goddess's ruin alongside Bruno, but now everything has changed. The darkness devoured your beloved Thea and tarnished all life. You kept a handful of chosen worshippers alive in the bosom of your power, but they are weakened, lost, and scared. You must do all you can to restore balance. Okay, so this guy's basically just a tutorial guy. So we'll just kind of skip through his thing real quick. And we're gonna open up my settings actually real quick. I believe voiceover volume. I'll just read everything out. So we'll apply that. So in the game, you start with your village. So you have your production, inventory, all this tabs. If we go to our production tab, in here you can build these things, and as I craft things, I get more research points. Research points goes to maybe a better material or some new crafting item or maybe a new building. Really good buildings I found are the cabbage fields. A smithy is really strong. You can get like a barracks. You can build a fence and like this thing that increases your gathering range. The well gives you random stuff. You can build a manager, which gives your people like animal kinship, which means like you're easier to like be with like animals and stuff. You could build an herbalist hut so you get more health and all this stuff. But all this stuff like requires all these materials. So like getting one of these right away is not going to be helpful. Getting one of these isn't really going to be helpful either because again, this stuff will take stuff. In here, you know, like I could research. I think, yeah, this is all just like whatever I research. I get 5 units of that item I research, and I know where it is. It'll, like, I can ask where the game, where it is. And it also, I can also then, harvest it, I believe. Yeah, so, really good starting is getting pretty good wood. Metals aren't usually really useful pretty early game. Late early game, they become really important to start kind of stockpiling them. And you got like minerals, you got leathers, you got gems. Bones are over here. You got your monster bones with your bones, your enchanted bones, and your dragon bones. You got cane, this wicker, and this nimble wood, and all this stuff. And then you got like ancient wood. Ancient wood is really good. So we're gonna go straight for elven wood though. And we're gonna pull on up and we're gonna hit that. So we got some monster bones right next to our base. We can mine some quartz later. We could also mine some iron eventually. If we click there, so that is our closest supply of elven wood. So for right now, we don't really need to go out that far. I'm also gonna go back into here, and we're gonna go to production, and we're gonna look at gathering here. So we have grain and vegetables and wood. So if you go to the manage supplies tab here, you burn wood over time, and you consume food. The more different food varieties you have, the more bonuses you get. So, the main thing I want to start doing is start collecting food and wood, and we're gonna put 2 people into my grain, 1 person to vegetables, and 1 person on wood. So every 6 turns, he gets me 7 wood. And then the parentheses, how much I have of that. So that's basically that first thing then. And then we're going to go to this group here. This group is my like out and about. This is my expedition group. These guys are out here trying to upgrade my base. So we're gonna look for some quick gear upgrades here. We've already got some pretty good gear on us, which is nice. So now we're gonna give our people some upgrades there. And I believe and then boom. So then when we craft stuff and all that, you can take those items and you can dismantle these items into like the resources that were made into them. You don't get all of them back, but you can do that. Alright, so we're going to take this group though, and we're going to head straight to this Theodore's tutorial, and we're just going to go talk to him. So, basically in this here is just, I'm not going to read the tutorial stuff. He's just kind of teaching us how to do quick stuff. So we're just going to do a quick hunt here. And this is our combat phase now. So I'm going to explain this a little bit real quick as well. So here are my cards, and here are the enemy's cards. Cards represent 1 person per team. But each card has its own stats. So you see these guys have 1 attack and 1 defense. The 1 attack is based off of their gathering, I believe. And then their armor and health stuff is mainly based off of their actual like stats that they have. So here, we don't really have too much of a hunting kind of group, but we get to go first this time, so we're gonna start placing cards down. And this person here has an ability. This ability does poison damage, so whenever a card is actually injured, they do double the damage. And then when you see with these cards here how they're like they got the question marks, that means they're confused. So for this first fighting phase, these cards cannot attack. But there we go. So we won the hunting challenge, and we get some loot, and we take that loot and we leave it. And after we do an action or something, we'll most likely get just XP and stuff. So we take that, and I believe we head back to him, and we tell him we got the bones. So then he gives me 23 vegetables. And then cool, we'll move on, and he starts talking about going out and doing some fighting. So right now we are out of movement. Turns, as you can see up in the top right there, there's a foot next to 0-5. So that's our movement. We are out of movement. And then looks like there's 4 of these like little treasure things. And we'll end turn for now. Alright, and on the next turn it tells us that we have collected 14 vegetables, which is really nice. So again, so yeah, there's nothing I can do with him, but we'll take the travel over to here. And we just ran out of movement, so we'll end turn once again, because there's not really much to do in the town just yet. If we go to look at it, we can craft a pasture when we get enough vegetables, and then we'll need enough wood to build it up, and then a pasture will give us food over time. And it'll, if you build it with the right materials, you can attract certain like animals and stuff. Yeah, so here we got another challenge. Now this is a social challenge, and so I kind of want to get this person though into my main deck. So we're gonna hit reshuffle, and they did move in. Reshuffling doesn't really give you a penalty in any shape. It does allow you to kind of have a bit of an advantage sometimes. Sometimes you move some cards around and you get like maybe put one of your bad cards into here and then you take a card out. So yeah, well, again, this is our offensive deck. In our offensive deck, they all do some kind of like they all go out and they all do their own like damage and they all have their own health. At certain points, you'll get to people where they have they'll have when you do like fights and stuff, you get health, and you have like poison and leeching and like all these other stats that you can get in the game that just makes your characters stronger. The game that I made to like 1,200, the people I was playing on, they would go into, so another thing is like there's these 1 skulls, and then it varies from the 1 skulls to 2 skulls to 3, 4, and then 5. At 5 skulls, it then the next difficulty up is a 1 skull that's orange, and then it's got 2, 3, 4, and 5 all in orange color, and those are the strongest. Like those are ones that you really need an army for. So talking to him again after we told him we got the gold, and he's like, okay, so now we got to go to this location over here. But if we head over here and we go in here, it says, so this is a risk of 1 skull searching. Our team is usually pretty, at the beginning of the game, they usually give you about a 2 skull fighting team. Right here we got this person here. This person here's got a hammer. So leftover damage that they do will go on to another enemy. And so does this person. He's got another hammer. So right now it really seems like we want to throw this guy down and throw her down right behind him. Alright, so then he threw down a rat from his tactical deck, which means that rat came in confused. So with that rat confused in, we're going to confuse that skeleton that went down first, because he does 18 damage and he's got 19 plus 7 health. So this is probably their strongest card in their whole deck. So once again, he placed down another rat. And this guy doesn't have a lot of health, though, so we're going to try not risk his life and put him in the fight. This person is our healer, so we don't really want to put him in that fight at all. So I'm just going to hit next turn, because she can one-shot these two guys as well. Okay, so he placed down another rat. It's got a bit more damage. So this time, we're going to confuse that rat, and we're going to go next turn. Alright, and he's going to place down another rat. And right here, he's only got one card that can attack, but this rat should get wiped out by him. So we're going to place him down and end turn so our medic doesn't get into this fray. So he's whacking there, she whacked him with a hammer, it went over to him, he whacked him. So yeah. Alright, now we get a little bit of attack in, and now both our hammer guys well on him. Alright, so yeah, he took 6 damage in that fight. That damage will be permanent until I put them in a camp, which you can do, and a camp will take 1 movement point. So we'll go to next turn, and he'll stay injured throughout the turn. Within our movements, we have gained some XP, so our people in the town have gained 1 stealth, 1 health, 2 gathering, and 1 strength, which is really good. And then people out here have gained a will, and stealth, and perception, and strength, and a medic ability. The medic ability is really nice, because the higher that ability, the less likely people will actually die, which is really good. So we're going to put these guys up into a camp, and we can just gather some quick wood while we're here, and we'll just gather up some wood, and then we'll go to that next turn. And then if we pull up this, go to inventory, our man that got injured, yeah, he's right here. So he's just injured 1 more, but we can go into their equipment real quick. We can kind of start looking around and going, okay, so like this is a better shield, so we're going to put that on. And then this guy's got no equipment because he's our medic, and medics don't come with a lot of strength, so you can only carry 100 weight, and he's got that shield, it gives him 74. These guys got 450, 500, 500, 550, 200. That's all based on the amount of strength they have. The higher that number, the more they can carry, and the higher that number, the more like a physical challenge will be better. So if you have people that can carry a lot of weight, usually they're going to be really effective in a physical challenge. So we're going to go back to our town real quick, and we're going to look through this. So we've got some steel. We start with 4 children as well, and these kids over time will grow into people. So right now we're going to move into getting some cooked meals, and we're going to make some food, and we're just going to put this guy here, and we're just going to have him make them all, and then we'll go back into there because I want to make sure. Yeah. So to use the grain efficiently, I have to go into my crafting and get this thing called baked meals, and this is where you can use your wheat and your fruits and some seaweed with some coal or wood or some kind of like grassy like thing. So we're going to hit next turn though. And right there, the wolf just moved over to the tutorial area. But hey, it looks like that we got a kid who grew up in our thing. So when he grows up, you get a choice. You can choose him to be a warrior, you can have him be a gatherer or a crafter. Those are usually the 3 that'll always be there. You can also choose to become a sage and a witch and like a hunter and all these other things throughout the various buildings we build. So for right now though, we want to get more warriors. Alright, so now we're at to 11 villagers within this entire thing. And the reason why I wanted a warrior is because I want to up my carry weight a lot pretty early. Not that I'm going to do much with it, but I'm just going to probably get that 1 warrior too, so that if I can get a weapon that I can put on him, I'm going to have him stay and defend the town. So now that our guy's most likely healed, since he was 1 health down, we can disband that camp, and then we can continue traveling down here, and we'll slowly get to our tutorial again. So we're 1 point off, but we're real close. And then so he's congratulating us on making a building. So he gave us 9 dryad wood and some malachite. those will be pretty good usefully later. This group is also running out of food, so we need to find some food for these people to get to, for they don't have much stuff left. But we go into this cave here. Let's explore here. Let's go left. So we run into this guy here. You take a left and go down a long winding corridor with empty alcoves spread about in equal spaces, each alcove hiding a potential doorway to explore. You enter one such opening and you arrive in a small chamber. You are about to leave when a ghost stands in your way. I am Zarazar. Please don't go yet. My spirit has been trapped here for decades. I cannot leave here, you see, because everywhere I go I bring disease and death with me. But I do not want this. Disease and death. Oh no. No, wait. In this chamber and only here I do not spread the filthy plague unless I touch someone. This is why I haven't left in decades. Please help me. Okay, so it sounds terrible, so we're going to try and help you. All you have to do is willingly let me touch you. I know this is asking much, but if you win the disease, then I will thank you. So this is a 2-skull sickness fight. So if we come into here and we go to cure sickness, we're most likely only gonna really really the only person who can really do this is our medic. And really that at that point, it's kind of like I can't really do that because it's too rough. So we can't help him out. So that sucks for him. But for right now, our biggest priority is getting some food back to our traveling party here. We only have 3 turns left. So another person group. So let's get another gatherer. Alright, and we got another nest as well. So yeah, we're by a lot of monster bones, and we're pretty short distance from some clay, which is really useful later on. We're pretty close to some quartz that we can mine. There's some nuts up there. I could go grab those later and have a whole abundance of that. Alright, so we'll enter here, and we're just going to go to the equip button, and it pulls up the our town and our party. So if we just go into here, we can just circle through these tabs. So yeah, we're kind of running low on some food, so we can just pass over some food to these guys here. So they'll slowly eat this stuff over turns, and since I have like 6 people in my party, they eat 6 of food each turn. We come into here and we've got some stuff. So darkwood's usually pretty valuable. So is iron and gold and then the amber and the mouse shit that we got. We got some leather. Bones are pretty nice, and then we got our food and our fuel. Well, the fuel is used for setting up camps. The longer you're in the camp, the more fuel you use. But you still only use 1 per turn. So with that in mind, we're going to go to this managed thing here. And I'm using all my wood right now. So that's kind of at the point where I should probably get some more wood. And like I got enough grain for right now. So we're just going to try and get it so that we don't run out of wood within this next turn or so. So this town... So we'll throw that guy into vegetables right now. We will leave that screen. So now we moved from 2 turns to 19 turns of food with this group. So we'll investigate our next thing. So again, we stumble across some ruins of an old city engulfed in a mist and mystery. So we're going to search. You open one of the buildings, a strange-looking stone metal built afar, and you hear a clunking noise, then a blunt thud. Before you're able to do anything, you see a skeleton charging my way. So we're going to get ready to fight here. Once more. So that looks pretty good to me. So we're gonna hit there, and then they get to go first since they kind of surprise attack. So right here they have the guy with this piercing damage. So if we got to go first and we placed this guy down, and then he placed that guy down, he would have stabbed him for 13 damage and then gone in front of him. So when the fighting phase starts, he would get to go first. But luckily, he placed him down first, and he's confused. So the first round of combat, he's completely useless. So then we're going to do that again, and we're going to get some stuff there. And then here we are, we got a choice here. We can either shield this guy and just make sure he just doesn't take damage, or we could go in and confuse one of the rats. I think we're going to play the safer route here, and we're just going to confuse him for now. And give him some more armor, and then they placed on that, so then we're gonna do another confuse here, And then he's going to place down one more card. Now, instead of hitting the next turn, I'm going to hit this red arrow, and it's going to pull up this menu. I'm going to say continue. What that does is means that these two cards I cannot play for the rest of that round, so they just sit there. And if he had cards to place even still, he would place them down, and I would kind of challenge that thing, and I wouldn't use them. So right there, we went through 2 phases, and we didn't do anything. So we're going to go back into another engagement here where we got to fight him. So, and this time we have all 3 of our warriors in our main hand, which is really good, because that means we can kind of place people. We can like put that guy to the front, and then we can put this guy down, and then we'll confuse the rat, and then we'll put her in, and now their first turn of combat, they don't get to do anything, which means we'll just wipe them out. But we did take some damage, so we gotta be careful with that. So we're gonna take our stuff and leave, though, but we're gonna put up camp right away, and we're actually within range of some fish, so there's not a lot of fish year-round usually, so we're going to gather as much as that as we can. We're going to grab some more wood as well. So we'll wait a few turns here and gather some supplies. And as this goes on, we will slowly gather. Alright, so now we got this thing here, my bad. It is time for the Night of the Goat, a feast in honor and reverence of the ancestors and forefathers, the so-called Dizioti. So great, begin the celebrations. So we set a table of food and drinks at bonfires in a circle and begin festivities. But this night the Dizioti actually appear before you. When an elder bearded man speaks with heavy, coarse voice, "You have done us proud, grandchildren. Now we shall cleanse you of any curses you carry. And if your souls are ever burdened by the filth of dark magic, come to a city we once called home. Seek us out, and if you prove yourselves worthy, you may be cleansed once more." The Dizioti all nod in agreement and then disappear. So they blessed my man, the Lezovad guy, with some folklore. So folklores are used for like hexes and intellectual kind of stuff. So he will do more damage within those challenges. And then I can just say, wonderful, if we are ever cursed, we shall seek out the city. And we get 1 XP and 1 research point thing there. So these guys are usually really helpful. Late game, or well, more of like mid game, these guys are used a lot. There was a few times where I had to go to this guy and I had to talk to him 3 different times to cure the 3 different things I had. So a lot of it was pretty rough to deal with. So right now, though, we've got some stuff to kind of probably work on. We're getting really close to being able to get another research point, which will make it easier so we can get some food. So here, we're just going to put a whole bunch of leather in, and that'll give us some armor and dexterity. Dexterity is used for your sneaking around and your other kind of stuff like that. So we'll put that guy to work, and we'll make 2 of them. And that'll should give us the remaining 6 points we need for our research there. So if we go to next turn there, there we go. An old dwarf passes by your village, stopping only for a drink and a chat if you're willing. So I can either be like, nah, let's just rob him, share a drink and then kill him, or just share a drink with him. From what I've seen, dwarves are actually very strong, and since it's very early game, I just want to share a drink with him. So you share a drink and some stories. As thanks, the dwarf tells you of an old mine he knows. He marks the location in your map, and I'm like, great. He marks a route for a mithril mine. So mithril is the best mineral in the game. It's really good to kind of use that a little bit when you start getting to the point where you have a party that can kind of get over there. Because if I were to pull up our screen here, mithril is right past silver. It's 3 research points to obtain, so it's pretty expensive. And we'll just pull up in here and we'll go to our warrior here, and we'll give him that leather shirt since he doesn't really have any leather armor. We'll pull up our expedition here, and what do they got? They got 20 fish now, so they're slowly building up that fish count. So if we end our turn, these 4 spiders are going to attack us. So we're just going to begin combat, because this really isn't our fighting people. So we try to reshuffle to get our warrior within, but to avail we had failed. So we shall place this guy down, and I think he's our other warrior guy that we have. So right here, though, they place down 2 spiders. But one thing that we do usually get a start with is usually your people kind of get that spear. So we'll place that down, and right there he just kills that spider right off the bat. So fantastic, we don't have to deal with him anymore. And now we're just going to get this guy right up into that combat zone. And we're going to go straight to their turn. They're going to place down another spider, but we can just then again wipe that spider out. And then we'll place down our other warrior, or another crafter. So then he places down his last spider, and we're just going to place down our last person, and that spider's going to get a shot, and then he's going to stab him there. Alright. So yeah, that's the first, 15 turns, though. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll definitely be doing a lot more of this, because there's a lot more stuff that I've been really kind of meaning to do with YouTube and stuff, and this is kind of one of the things that I really wanted to look into, was a game that I can kind of just relax back and sit with you guys and kind of talk. And, I'm collecting fish and stuff, too. This game is really relaxing. It's really calming. And you just gotta keep your head calm when situations get really bad. Because I've had points where I have literally gotten attacked by, so many enemies, and I went from having a village of 20 to 8 people, and I just kind of had everyone kind of sit in my village because I didn't have any warriors to go out. And we eventually sat in the village long enough to where we started getting a lot of beasts and people and stuff, because I had a bunch of buildings that gave me beast increasement. So I had a whole bunch of bears. I had a bear at the end of the game. I had a wasp and a snake and a rat and other stuff. Well, I got the rat because of animal kinship. Yeah, there we go. So, this group again, they got all that fish too. So we're just gonna break that, and we're gonna send them out a bit more here. And as you can tell too, it's slowly kind of getting into nighttime as well. Or it's slowly becoming dawn. So yeah, the game is not being so dark and stuff. So we're gonna move some of our people back into our grain here, and we'll just sit there with that, and then we will actually, let's get one more, let's do our research point thing there, and then we will end the video there, because then I kind of get that thing done. And then here's the thing too, is you can craft items that increase their stats on just a base. Now, if we're trying to craft a tool to use, usually you want to use iron's usually probably your weakest, but we can use some elven wood, and then we can catalyze it with wood. And the catalyzation right now doesn't matter until I get a smithy. That's when it actually starts to become useful. So if I use iron, I get 3 crafting plus. If I use some steel, I get 3. And if I change my wood to dark wood, it buffs it up to 4, which is really strong. If I use some dryad wood, it keeps it at 4, but it doesn't use my dark wood. So I think what I want to do, though, is I want to use my dark wood, because I want to build a bit more with some dryad stuff in elven wood this game. So we're going to take that, and we're going to build that, and our man's going to work on that for himself, and he can only craft 1, but in 4 turns that'll be built. So right now we're going to end that turn. And our expedition is getting attacked by some spiders, so we're going to go straight into combat there. And we're going to place her right down first, because she's got 19 damage and a poison attack. And the way poison works in this game is that if you hit something, it's going to add that extra 3 onto that, so she's going to do 22 damage. But if the spider was injured, instead of doing her 22 damage, it's going to double the poison damage, so she's going to do 25 damage in one swing, which is a lot of damage for some early game runs, because 25 damage is almost this guy's health entire pool, which would not be fun. So right there, they're placing some more stuff. So right now, we're just gonna bulk up our defense on this guy. Not that it's gonna be any use at all, but why not? Just kind of get them out of the way so they are really far away and there's no possible way that we can lose. And there it was. So then they drop Spider Silk. Spider Silk's another pretty good resource that you can get around throughout the game. Yeah. So we're just gonna keep kind of exploring our vicinity and just kind of make sure we're not like running into too much trouble. And like again, we got this lake down here, so we got some pretty easy access to some quick fish. Looks like we got something up there, and then yeah, we do have our elven wood up there, which I could probably go run over and get eventually. So we're gonna turn again. We're getting attacked once more, so we're gonna quickly deal with this. We're not even gonna bother reshuffling with these wolves. So we're going to throw at our warrior right away, and we're just then going to throw down our big warriors. They're going to be confused, though, and there's no way to unconfuse someone. And the enemy team will sometimes use confusion against you, and you'll be confused, but it's usually never been really too much of a problem, so right there, and then phase 2, we'll wipe them out, taking no damage, which is always nice. And then we'll close that, and we get attacked again. So we'll go back into our combat here. They get to go first this time, but since they get to go first, we can place down 2 cards. And the more cards you have, the more cards you can place down in one little card turn. And then getting your like high stealth on characters really makes your life a lot easier for higher level runs, because then you can take someone, you can shove them straight to the front of the line, so they're like, when the fight phase starts, they're the first person to attack, and it's really nice to have that. So there we took some damage, so she took 4 damage, so it's not too bad. And then we leveled up once more, which is fantastic. So we got some more stats there, as you guys can see. And at the air, we're going to pull up a camp here, and we're going to gather these nuts. And while they're gathering them nuts, we're going to pull up our crafting baked goods. And we're going to get our baked goods. We're going to open up our town hall area again. And if we go to baked meals, we can now use our grain, and we can now use our wood, and now we can just make a bunch of bread. And bread's really good, and we can craft that for as long as we want. And since he's right there, since he's up in here, once he crafts his tool in the next 2 turns, he's going to bump down and start working on the bread, and he's just going to make it forever. And then we can give him his tool when he crafts it, so then he'll have 8 craft instead of 4 crafting. But right there, we're going to call it there, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Do check out more of my videos if you do like. And I'll see you guys in that next video.